Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Thank you for your courage and your leadership. We really appreciate it. At this time, please welcome a good friend and a patriot. More than a year ago, it was Bill Hennessy who wrote me an email and asked me to join him at a Tea Party protest at the Arch. Little did we know what this movement would grow into. Bill has been leading this effort in St. Louis ever since. He published a book last year, earlier in his life, The Conservative Manifesto, back in the 90s. And he's been fighting the war against progressivism and statism ever since. Bill reminds us constantly, it's a war, not a battle. Please welcome our dear leader, Bill Hennessy.
I don't usually do this, but we have a lot of great-looking St. Louis Tea Party official gear for sale right over there. You want to identify yourself and let people know that you're a part of the fastest-growing political movement in American history. And I want to correct something that Jim Hoff said. Everybody in this plaza tonight is a leader of the St. Louis Tea Party. You're a leader of the American freedom movement, and you're going to become the captains in the first wave of the army of liberty evangelists that we're putting on the streets to knock on every door in St. Louis County, St. Louis City, Jefferson County, Franklin County, St. Charles County, St. Clair, and Madison County before Election Day this year. Our friends in the media and on the left have pointed out rightly that our activities of the last year did not turn into votes on April 6th. I can only accept that as a failure of my part, and I apologize. We're not going to make that mistake again in November. On November, I'm not going to open my first beer until the important races are called, and that better be 5 minutes after the polls close. And I want to thank Jim Hoff and Fred Sauer for pulling this together. Because of other things that are going on in my life, not necessarily related to the Tea Party, I couldn't possibly have done this year. Jim and Fred stepped up. Let's give them a round of applause every time somebody gets up here to speak, because they're here because of us, because of them. You know, I've gotten to know John Burns over the last really only few months. It seems like I've known him for a long time, in a good way. But John is going to be a leader in this country, and he's leading the effort to put that army of liberty evangelists on the streets. He's going to hold training. We're going to recruit block captains. I expect everyone in this plaza to go to stlouisteaparty.com within the next 24 hours and click the register button and either add your name or update your profile to be a block captain. We want a block captain knocking on every door. We're going to have a very simple message. If we can raise enough funds, if we sell enough t-shirts, everyone is going to be armed with a pocket full of pocket constitutions and declarations of independence. And we're going to have a very simple message. You're going to knock on the door. It doesn't matter who lives on the other side. Everyone needs to hear this message. And the message is very simple. This is the Constitution of the United States and the Declaration of Independence. You probably haven't read it since high school, if ever. It'll be a long conversation if you knock on Phil Hare's door, but that's... You probably haven't read this since high school, if ever. All we ask is that you read it. Think about how these documents apply to America today and ask yourself, are we going in the right direction or the wrong direction? We're going to do that on every home that we can possibly get to. It's a big ambition, but with the people who are here tonight, if you start, I guarantee you within a few days someone's going to come back to your door and say, how do I get my copy and which houses do I have to go visit? If we do that, if we visit 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 homes between now and November 2nd with that simple message, then we get involved in important campaigns. Almost every congressional district is being contested, not only in the primary, but in the general election this year. No longer are the 5th and 1st districts off limits. You can vote for someone who thinks like you do, no matter where you live, for the first time probably in my lifetime. We're going to prime the electorate with the Constitution through our liberty evangelism. Then we're going to come back a second time and say, this is the man or this is the woman who will deliver the freedom that our forefathers fought for, that this document guarantees by guaranteeing a Republican form of government. And on November 2nd, we're going to have the biggest Tea Party America ever saw. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Bill Hennessy, everyone. Thank you so much, Bill.